Okay, today we're going to cover the latest two route changes for the 80% speedrun of FFTA. Both of them save roughly 30 seconds, so over the course of the full run, that's a minute of time save, which is pretty significant at this point in time. The first route change in question is adjusting the method at which we recruit the first set of bangaa. So let's go ahead and load this file here that's right after Frosty Mage. So the grind is just completed. Normally we would go about Thesis Hunt to get to Nubswood to get Wanted, get any unit from that, and then use that to recruit the bangaa. The issue with Wanted, however, is it's a 50% chance that you get a unit, which means there is a possibility that you will fail getting that unit repeatedly, losing several minutes, because each attempt at Wanted is 50 seconds. And that's not good. And I wanted to try to make this more consistent. So instead of doing Thesis Hunt, we're just going to go and get the bangaa now. First we have to dismiss all but one unit from our clan. If you get a unit from Frosty Mage, you should accept that and use them instead. I will just stick with the soldier. And then we're going to go back to Cyril. Grab Thesis Hunt just to get it out of the way now. And then we're going to pick up Fire. Fire gives us the same mission count as doing Wanted, but fleeing from it also pushes the recruitment missions into the pub for us. So we need to have at least some encounter here in order to get the missions we need. Go ahead and immediately flee. Basically, this method of recruiting the bangaa is just using dispatches to raise our average and then get the units we need without having to worry about the RNG of getting a unit from an encounter mission. Same method, same logic as the one I use for the second set later on in my runs. Go ahead and get the human. Another thing to note here is that because there are no clans spawned yet, because we haven't done Thesis Hunt, we haven't triggered the clan encounter flags. All of this movement on the map is completely uninterrupted, and it ends up being, through the course of just the month of Mad Moon, a full 9 seconds faster than if clans were present. So it actually saves time in that regard. But that time save is then lost having to do an extra dispatch. So we're just going to pretend these units are the ones I want. I don't want to do the save and reload just for the sake of demonstration. Overall though, recruiting this way versus first try Wanted are essentially the same amount of time. This does have the benefit of being consistent, which makes it, in my opinion, more worth it, even if you end up with slightly lower level bangaa. But the real time save comes afterwards on Thesis Hunt, because we'll have access to units we wouldn't normally have at this time, and that makes those fights a lot faster. And that's where the 30-second time save comes in. So once you have the units, go ahead and switch them to white monks. We'll pretend these are dragoons or gladiators. And then you want to equip them with the kaisers and the hard knuckles. It is important to note though that kaiser knuckles are mandatory for the maximum amount of time save here. I haven't done Thesis Hunt without them, because I always make sure to get the manip, but I'm going to go ahead and say that they are mandatory for this. But make sure you got the manipulation down in the early game. And then we're going to take a look at what an optimal Thesis Hunt is with bangaa involved. this is Thesis Hunt with early bangaa. Normally we would just combo everyone with Marsh, maybe take out one enemy with Mont Blanc. Relatively slow, kind of a tedious process. With access to 2 more units though, we're able to take out 3 more enemies with them, which eliminates the enemy turns, and it gets our JP counts going earlier than normal. So while this fight saves 30 seconds, there's also an unquantifiable amount of time save later on with already having judge points on our bangaa. There's no real easy way to time that one, but you're able to go faster not having to worry about getting 3 extra KOs on those units. One thing to note is that a front attack on a white mage is 60%, and then a side air render on the thief is 67, so pretty close to equal on what you want to KO with the rightmost bangaa on their second turn. But that's a fast Thesis Hunt. And again, saves 30 seconds over the regular version, so it's well worth doing. And with that said, we will then move on to the second route change. Okay, the second route change is actually fairly simple. We're just going to be removing the last extra mission from the speedrun route, and there are a couple requirements for this. The first is that you have to use the early Kaiser mission route, which involves the first shop upgrade happening right after Twisted Flow. Second, your last set of bangaa must be obtained via dispatch missions, because what we're doing is we're just going to be taking out Fowl Thief or any random clan encounter. Important to note that you do have to avoid all clans. If you hit a clan encounter, then you can't really utilize this time save. But we're just going to be doing Golden Clock without any upgrades. Golden Clock without upgrades is actually pretty similar to with them. It's not that much different. It's about 10 seconds slower because you have to double attack the Gadgeteer instead of just countering it. But you're saving 45 seconds by not having one extra fight somewhere in the run. So it's overall a net time save of about 30 seconds. And then you can just go about doing the shop upgrade right after this fight, right before scouring time. And that's pretty much the fight. It can have a couple optimizations based on enemy movement, but overall, it's going to look pretty much the same as with or without upgrades. And those are the route changes.